The invisible Boatmobile, the vehicle of transportation used by the heroes, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. But have you ever wondered what it actually looks like? In Season 3, Episode 5, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy Part 4, they use the invisible boat alarm and it is revealed to be a pink 1959 Cadillac Eldorado convertible. And yeah, that's it. Case closed. I guess we do know what the invisible Boatmobile looks like. Or do we? There's something weird going on in Bikini Bottom. Or should I say something fishy going on in Bikini Bottom. And we gotta get to the bottom of it. In Season 1, Episode 6, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, Patrick paints the invisible Boatmobile with black paint. And you can see that the invisible Boatmobile is just your regular standard issue Boatmobile. You know, the one that everyone in Bikini Bottom drives? But in Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy Part 2, SpongeBob rides in the invisible Boatmobile with Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, and he's sitting in the back. The back? Like, if this isn't cause for concern and sounding all the alarms, I don't know what will. Like, are you guys picking up what I'm putting down? Like, how is SpongeBob sitting in the back when everyone and their mother knows that your regular standard issue Boatmobile is a 3-seater that has a bench? There is no back. It's impossible to sit in the back. What this means is that Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy Part 2 is 100% guaranteed proof that the invisible Boatmobile is actually a pink 1959 Cadillac Eldorado convertible. Because if you look at the car that the invisible Boatmobile is based off of, this picture makes sense. Because SpongeBob is sitting in the back, and when he moves to the front, Barnacle Boy is moved or like scooted over to his right, which would be the third seat of the bench. So this makes sense, this checks out. Yeah. So which one is it? Is the invisible Boatmobile a pink 1959 Cadillac Eldorado convertible, or is it just your regular standard Boatmobile? Because if it's a pink 1959 Cadillac Eldorado convertible, then what did Patrick paint with black paint that day if it wasn't Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy's invisible Boatmobile? Like, really think about it, because every time that Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy use the invisible Boatmobile, they go into the Merma layer. So if Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy's invisible Boatmobile is parked in the Merma layer, whose invisible Boatmobile is just parked outside of Shady Shoals? We know that there are ways to make things invisible, like with the invisible spray. So did someone use invisible spray on their own Boatmobile for whatever reason? Now that I'm thinking about it, the invisible spray theory makes zero sense. In Season 3, Episode 20, Pranks-A-Lot, SpongeBob says, "Let's get home and wash this paint off." Paint? You know? Like, dude, paint? And towards the end of the episode, Mr. Krabs throws water on SpongeBob and Patrick, which gets rid of the invisible spray. This proves that the invisible Boatmobile outside of Shady Shoals, the retirement home, is actually invisible. The same technology that Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy used for their own invisible Boatmobile. No spray was used. So we're gonna have to do a little guessing on what type of paint Patrick was using to paint this invisible Boatmobile that's just here for no reason. So let's just say that Patrick was using regular paint. Regular normal paint, which contains about 40 to 50% water. And if you remember what I just said a couple seconds ago, water gets rid of the invisible spray. So if this was the case, if this boat was just using invisible spray, we will be able to see the actual boat here, like actual parts of the boat, like the color. Also, need to remind you, we're in Bikini Bottom, a city underwater in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. So, you know, there's no invisible spray here. Yeah, so I just said that to, you know, like, this is like more proof that we're looking at a random invisible Boatmobile here, but not Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy's pink 1959 Cadillac Eldorado convertible. There's a couple different ways we can look at this. In Bikini Bottom, you can buy an invisible Boatmobile, or it's more likely that Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy have multiple invisible Boatmobiles at their disposal. This will make sense given that the invisible Boatmobile can look like a regular Boatmobile at times. Like, I think Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy Part 3, when SpongeBob and Patrick crashed the invisible Boatmobile into a pool, the pool is shaped in your standard Boatmobile shape. And why, when you see Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy use their invisible Boatmobile, like their official one, the one that has all these upgrades and like that's souped up, it has the, you know, it has like the nitro boost, the origami button, the ejector seat, it has all these upgrades. So the theory that they have multiple invisible Boatmobiles makes sense, right? There's two versions. You got the one with all the upgrades and just your regular kind, just your regular Boatmobile. And just like to top it all off, just to really like close the lid on this, in Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy Part 2, Barnacle Boy says, making the Boatmobile invisible was a stupid idea. This means that they have the technology and the ability to make things invisible, which isn't out of the question, if you really think about it. I mean, they are superheroes that have superpowers. With all that being said, the only reasonable conclusion to come to is that Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy have made a lot of Boatmobiles invisible. We just can't see them.